Okay, we're going to take a moment and finish this last example. And if you, do I need to go through the finding of PRRs again then? That was yesterday, right?
No, that's just P's.
Okay, so when we did, I'm just going to write them down because we do need to have them listed in front of us. We did the work yesterday, but my PRRs were plus or minus 1, 2, 4, 8, and 1/2.
Yep.
Okay, so those are our possible rational roots. Now, tell me, did we graph it yet? I had graphed it because I already had it on the calculator accidentally from earlier in the period, didn't I?
Yeah.
We got see, it's coming back to me. It's coming back to me slowly but surely.
Oh, I did.
Always.
But I erased it. I did too.
I know, I'm hoping this is not the calculator I used. There we go. Yep, it's still in here.
I did erase.
I say it doesn't erase unless you erase it.
No, I erased.
No,
But
it's no good. You can.
let's see, I didn't switch over here, did I?
Yeah.
Actually, technically, though. Because I didn't really care. I have to learn. It's really nice.
Helps if you turn Mr. Elmo on.
Let's see.
Come on, Elmo. Wake up.
That was all the moves she looked. You can raise her up with sugar cubes and carrots. So carrot on a stick.
Aha, there we go.
Biggest.
Okay, so there's mine. You probably had that graph a lot quicker. If you look at that graph, okay, if you zoomed it out because you wanted to see what's going on, it's a W shape, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what I really need to see is where is it crossing the x-axis. And so if I leave it there about where is it crossing the x-axis, I have a little bit of information. And what do we know? Okay, that is a very rough drawing, but
It's close. It's close enough.
it gives me what I need, okay? Now, in terms of, what matches up with PRRs here?
Negative, no.
1/2.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
negative 1/2.
That right there.
Um,
And if you look on the actual screen, you know, on the actual screen, that looks like maybe negative 1/2. And looks like this one might be 4.
Yeah.
So what are we going to try? We're going to try 4. We're going to try negative 1/2. We also have something that's between positive 1 and 2 and between negative 1 and 2. Do I have anything like that in my PRR list? No. So those are probably irrational roots most likely. And irrational roots occur in a pair. So it would make sense that it's plus or minus something. We'll get there here in a little bit. Okay, so when we say try the 4 and negative 1/2, you guys know to synthetic division, right? So if I try 4, what do we have here? 2, negative 7, negative 8, 14, positive 8.
That's what I got.
Drop the 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Negative 7 plus 8 is 1. 4 times 1 is 4. Negative 8 plus 4. Negative 4. 4 times negative 4. Negative 16. 14 plus negative 16. Negative 2. 4 times negative 2. Negative 8. And we are at 0.
I feel like, okay, in the homework,
That they did
you
not
got
work out like that.
you got some really high numbers.
times.
Okay,
Like,
I'm glad I'm not the only one. I think
you
I
just kept going
like,
up
never
and
got
up
a
and
zero.
up.
Okay, we'll have to look at those.
Like multiply each by
Okay.
10.
One of the biggest numbers I got was 1,600.
Okay, continuing on this problem.
I got 9.
Continuing on this problem. Focus, please. Okay, we'll talk homework in a moment. We tried 4, it works. What's our next plan? Now we're going to try negative 1/2. When we try this negative 1/2, what am I going to suggest here?
0. Negative.
Now, I'm fine with negative 1.5, but what row of numbers am I going to use next to it?
2, 1.
Our new set of numbers, so to speak. Okay, so you want to use the new set of numbers. Don't go back to the original set of numbers, because the idea is we're trying to factor this down, and we need to know what it is after both of those zeros come out in terms to get our irrationals. So now I'm going to use my new 2, 1, negative 4, negative 2. Drop the 2. And guys, if it is a 0, don't let the fractions scare you. They work out nicely. Okay, they really do if it is an actual working 0. So, negative 1/2 times 2 is negative 1. Half of 2 is 1. Negative times positive, negative. 1 plus negative 1 is 0. Negative 1/2 times 0, 0. Negative 4 plus 0, negative 4. Negative 1/2 times negative 4.
Negative 2.
Half of 4 is 2.
My bad.
Add those, and we have a remainder of 0. So again, it worked, yes?
Yeah.
So I know 4 and negative 1/2 are zeros. Now the question is, what does my remaining factor represent? What does 2, 0, negative 4 mean?
So there's 2 of those
2x cubed
x.
plus 0x squared.
That would be 2x
minus
squared.
4x.
2x squared.
That would be 2x squared.
So we started the original problem with x to the 4th. That means this answer was x to the 3rd, which means this problem started off as x to the 3rd, which means this one ends up as x to the 2nd. Also, if you, I think someone in one of my classes yesterday said, okay, if you count down, well, if this is a remainder, back your way up. Remainder, constant, x, x squared. You can also always back it up that way, knowing that the last column should be remainder, and go there. So now, what are we going to do with 2x squared minus 4?
Factor it.
Okay, factor it 4, or factor it. So set it equal to 0.
Sorry. Ran out of room. I did not do that homework right.
Okay, set equal to 0. On this, okay, Connor said factor it,
I mean,
and
solve it.
and that's fine. Factor it, or can we also just solve it and then square root?
Yeah, that's what I was
That's
thinking.
what I'm doing.
Okay, either or work. But if we add 4, 2x squared equals 4, x squared equals 2, and then what?
Wait. Oh, x equals the square root of 2. Oh my goodness.
X equals what?
The square root of 2.
Square root of 2
And
plus minus.
Plus or minus.
the negative square root of 2. Okay? Remember, when you take a square root in an equation setting, it's plus or minus, right? Now, what do we know about the square root of 2? It's not rational, it is irrational. And so right here, this represents your irrational roots. Notice I mentioned they occur in pairs, yes?
And then between 1
And there's plus or minus is a pair. There's a positive and a negative. If you look at the graph, we had something in between 1 and 2. Well, square root of 2 is 1.4. That's in between 1 and 2, isn't it? So, the question on this was find all the real zeros. In terms of all of our real zeros, we first found 4, then we found negative 1/2, and then we found plus or minus the square root of 2, which is a total of how many zeros?
3,
Count again.
4.
4.
Yeah, 'cause plus
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
And my highest power in this problem was 4. So it makes sense that there are 4 zeros. Okay? Where the 4 and the negative 1/2 over here that we tried, those are the rational. Okay. Hopefully that helps follow up on what we did yesterday. Okay?
Go team.
So, homework, I'm just going to mention it because I didn't mention it yesterday. I know you guys have mostly, you should have started it, should have attempted it. We'll talk about success rate here in a moment.
Have low hopes.
I asked you, and maybe that was a mistake, to try it.
Oh.
Okay, so
I think we all got done.
No, I got
7 through 10, 25, 26,
25, 26. I didn't know.
I looked at the board.
33 through 35,
I already did 200.
50, 53, and 54. Okay.
I don't know who you're hurting.